Viewers, today I decided to do a little rap music, and it's okay if someone's in my background, some friends in the background, they want to come in. This is a place in Kabul, Afghanistan. As you can see, the building is old. Look at the construction of the building. Looks like about 100 years old and stuff like that. Okay, here we go. This is it. Straight out of Afghanistan. Another badass Afghan. My rap gets bigger. I'm a badass Afghan, you know this. But some of the Afghans around the world won't show this. But I don't give a F. I might just make my rap. My rap gets bigger. And I jack a mother in a minute. Yo, Hamoin Shaw, what's up? Tell him where you from. Straight out of Afghanistan. This is another badass Afghan. When I'm in the city of Kabul, cruising on the east south side. Back in the days when I was in the United States, straight out of CYA, California Youth Authority, and ended up in Wasco State Prison. But that was the days of the gangbanging. I used to be a Crip. I went to Bronx, Brooklyn, Harlem, all over New York was me. But I used to win in a city of called LA, from South Central to CPT, all the way to East and West LA. They call themselves Compton. Yo, Dre, mother, you and Snoop Dogg. When Snoop Dogg's mama be hollering, yo, get rid of my baby. When I gotta get my AK-47 in your mouth, boo. But you know what? It ain't about all this. You know what it's all about? Respectful. This is just the beginning. I just made it as a joke, but I get real serious when I explain some serious things. When I deported myself from United States, like back in 1998, I decided to come to Afghanistan and change my life. I was never like any kind of criminal or a bad person. I just made some minor mistakes, you know. But I learned later on that life could be very important, and some of the smallest mistakes can cost a person really dearly, like what happened in my life. When I deported myself here in the beginning, I thought it was like a joke, you know. But sometimes I gotta admit that I'm thankful for that. Back in 1996, I think it was a new law out in California. 3 strikes and you're out. I think it was Governor Pete Wilson at that time. So when he came up with the law, 3 strikes and you're out, I had 1 strike at that time. And I decided to be smart about that. I didn't want to catch another 2 and then caught 3 and end up in penitentiaries, which I only did about a year in Wasco State Prison. But then I was in a Paso Robles. In the beginning, I went to CYA's reception, which is in Norwalk, California. And then from there, I went to Paso Robles. From Paso Robles, I went to Chad. It was a place in Stockton. That was like a gladiator school, one of the most toughest California youth authority. They named Chad, Junior Pelican Bay. But look, viewers, look at the smartness of this person. I had 1 strike back in 1997. And then 1998, I got arrested for a small minor thing, but then immigration laws were really tough because I wasn't a U.S. citizen. And then, so what happened, even thought I was in the United States for like more than 15, I think it was like 17 years. I did a smart choice. This is the toughest choice a person can make. All alone, without no family. I've been in Afghanistan for like, since 1998. It's like 23 or something years. It's been 23 years since I never saw the face of incarceration, jail, prisons, none of that stuff. All because I became serious and I made a good decision. I deported myself voluntarily. I know it's hard for people to believe and say, okay, why you deported yourself voluntarily? I swear to God, that's the true story. But it benefited me because a lot of people that were like homies, homeboys, and all that. Problem with all of them, so many of them ended up in penitentiaries doing life or hard times and stuff like that. I had a lot of hard times living in Afghanistan all alone, but I had a lot of good times too. The main important reason is that for anyone to learn something from my story, try to make a decision, but make a smart decision, even if it's gonna cost you something like what happened to me. If you really want to stay out of incarceration, jails, penitentiaries, prisons, and all that, And then again, all this prison politics, the big four, they call it the big four. You know, BGF, SWP, MM, and all the rest of them, and Black Gorilla Family and all that. One of the thing is, when I was incarcerated in California Youth Authority, I was a very, very aggressive and assaultive person, what the report said about me. They wanted to actually take me back to court for 1800. Viewers, only person knows about stuff codes. These are like military codes. What's 1800? When they take you from California Youth Authority back to court, when you're about to max out. I was only supposed to do like 12 months, 1 year. I was given 4 years as a max. But you only do like, I was only entitled to do 12 months, 1 year, and then be released on parole from California Youth Authority, CYA. I ended up catching 3 years time out. I assaulted a staff when I was in Chad, and assaulting a police officer, a guard. Believe me, that you gets you a lot of time. I escaped from California Youth Authority. What California Youth Authority did I escape from? Paso Robles. I was caught like a couple of hours later. The whole institution went on lockdown, and they said that we put the whole institution on lockdown. We were gonna send the helicopter, the chopper, to look for this guy, because we thought that he was gonna hurt himself somewhere in a forest kind of area. Paso Robles is all farmland, and I even thought I never saw the city, but I escaped. And then I was caught a few hours later because I lost my way and someone saw me, and they had said that this guy was wearing a blue uniform. CYA wears the same uniform as any state prison. They give you same blue jeans, blue pants, and blue shirts. Same uniform. So one of the thing is, if you really want to stay out of trouble, first thing, you got to stay always positive and believe in yourself and listen to your family and any elder person they have experience, especially when you're a young person. Because a family and true friends, they will always give you advice for your benefit because they want what's best for you. No family member or no good friend is gonna be your enemy to give you bad advice. It's always homeboys, homies, and someone else is gonna give you bad advice. I was a person who couldn't stay out of jails for like 3 months, and now I'm the same person who stood out of jail for 23 years. Now, can you think 23 years from 1998 to now? Never saw the face of incarceration again. But even thought I never saw my family again. My mother died in the United States. Father, old, probably passed away. Never saw my brothers again. But I'm very thankful that I could have been that aggressive. How I know? When they had a psychologist speak with me before I got out on maxing out. After I had served all the 4 years from the last place I went to was YTS in Chino. YTS stands for Youth Training School. YTS, Youth Training School. And compared to Chad, YTS was like a playground. The worst California Youth Authority that I can remember was Chad. It was a place in Stockton, but they named it Junior Pelican Bay, where that's where the most violence and the most toughest of gang members were sent there. And when I escaped from Paso Robles, that's why they sent me to Chad back in Stockton. They said that you need to go to maximum security CYA, California Youth Authority. They put on the record that this guy is always assaulting other inmates and escaped AWOL from California Youth Authority. That's when I was in YTS. After I was on lockdown, I was always in solitary confinement, assaulting staff, getting a lot of fights with other inmates. And CYA, they call it wards. They call you a ward. Other wards. He's aggressive towards other wards. But this is one of the important points. When I was in YTS, like nearing my maximum max out, they said they sent a psychologist to speak with me, and the psychologist said that they did ask me if they could take you back and for 1800. 1800 means that they think that you're menace to society or you're danger to society and community. They think you're mentally something went wrong with you when you're supposed to have been out a year ago and you've been in CYA for 4 years, maxing out with all your time. You had a chance to get out like 3 years ago. The parole board told me you've been catching time, escaping, assaulting police officers, guards, and all that, getting a lot of fights with other wards and stuff like that. I also appeared on Orange County's Most Wanted, Orange County Marshal's Most Wanted. That was in 1997. Anyways, if you want to follow up on my YouTube channel, I would like for you to please subscribe, because all my YouTube channel is going to be good advice for young people, anyone who wants to learn stuff from depression, stress, uh, any family problems, domestic problems. Please subscribe to my channel and follow up, and I'll be more than happy to help anyone. Thank you.